Hello, my name is Özge Özdemir and I'm the co-founder of Ascentys ESG. Our software automates the ESG assessment process and makes it easier for all companies to collect ESG data and to measure, understand, and report on their ESG performance. In our previous webinar, The ABC of ESG, we shed some light on the commonly used sustainability terms and acronyms. Today, I will talk about an ESG mind map that we have created to visualize the relationship among the major decision-making organizations in the sustainable business world. ESG news are usually complex, fast-changing, multi-layered, and they involve several parties. With so many different institutions, regulatory bodies, associations, and frameworks, it is difficult to keep up with the true meaning of recent and upcoming developments. We need a clear understanding of the interconnected nature of the sustainability world. The following mind map will help you visualize the relationship between the major sustainability organizations and read the events without confusion. Here's a first glance at the ESG mind map. At the end of the presentation, we will have another look at it. The aim of this exercise is to simplify the complex nature of this world. Undoubtedly, there are more organizations we could show and more arrows we could draw between them to show all the relationships, but it would make the mind map overcrowded and useless. Though there are no clear cuts between the organizations, on a high level, we can say that the UN bodies are placed on top left corner. European organizations are at the bottom of the mind map, and the rest, all other international organizations, are placed on the right side. Let's have a quick look at the legend. The green shape stands for the UN or EU institutions. The pink one stands for organizations focused on a certain topic. The pink pentagon stands for networks or associations. They can be international or regional. The yellow round shape is for the conferences and initiatives. The gray rectangle is for the regulations, directives, laws issued by state bodies, governments. The orange shape is for the reporting standards and frameworks, and the light gray is for the official reports issued by institutions. Let's start with the UN heritage, the top left corner of the mind map. We start with the famous Sustainable Development Goals, which were introduced during the UN meeting in 2015 as part of the 2030 agenda. You will not see any other arrows going out from this shape because we did not want to overcrowd the mind map, but there is no doubt that these Sustainable Development Goals lie at the core of almost all sustainability-related initiatives, conferences, projects, and institutions. United Nations Environmental Programme formed the financial initiative, which then collaborated with 3 other organizations: Conference on Trade and Development, Principles for Responsible Investment, and Global Compact, and they formed the Sustainable Stock Exchanges Initiative. The UNEP also formed, together with World Meteorology Organization, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. This is the institution that publishes the 5th and 6th assessment reports. United Nations Framework Convention for Climate Change is a parent convention which hosted Kyoto Protocol, most recently the COP26 Conference of Parties, and the Paris Agreement before that. So the 5th assessment report that we've just mentioned, published by IPCC, provided the landmark for Paris Agreement, which requires countries to have national commitments to reach 1.5 degrees Celsius. The COP26 guides the clean development mechanism, which was suggested during the Kyoto Protocol or by the Kyoto Protocol. And also the Kyoto Protocol paved the way for EU Emission Trading Scheme Directive. And it was created then by the European Commission. Let's have a look at the European path. Here we see the Non-Financial Reporting Directive, which was formed by European Commission. In April 2021, it was revised and renamed as Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive. So NFRD used to cover approximately 11,000 companies, and CSRD will cover 49,000 companies. By covering, I mean making the sustainability reporting mandatory for an additional 30,000 companies, more than 30,000 companies. So the CSRD will require companies to use sustainability reporting standards. They are not ready yet, but they are prepared by EFRAG, European Financial Reporting Advisory Group. And there is also the European Green Deal, which is a major apparent commitment. And more specifically, there is an intermediate commitment, which is called Fit for 55, and it aims to cut carbon emissions by at least 55% by 2030. EFAS is the European Federation of Financial Analyst Societies, and being accountants and financial analysts, they have been using, they have developed key performance indicators regarding sustainability accounting. So EFAS KPIs are also reporting sustainability reporting standards. UK government created the streamlined energy and carbon reporting, which is also mandatory for certain companies. EU Sustainable Finance Framework is again a major framework, and under this we see the Sustainable Finance Action Plan. The major finance framework had created the SFDR, Sustainable Finance Disclosure Regulation. This is again a mandatory regulation, and it requires the use of EU taxonomy. Just like CSRD, it will also require companies to use EU taxonomy to report their sustainability information through EU taxonomy. SFAP planned the creation of EU taxonomy. This is a classification system for environmental activities of the companies. The EU high-level expert group on sustainable finance had recommended the creation of EU taxonomy, and the technical expert group on sustainable finance actually created the EU taxonomy. They also created the EU Green Bond Standard and climate benchmarks and disclosures. In the sustainable finance world, we also see Climate Bonds Initiative and the Euro SIF, which stands for Sustainable Investment Forum. And under this umbrella, we see national forums such as Spain SIF, UK SIF, and Swiss SIF. Let's have a look at the other international organizations and global convergence. GRI standards were created by Global Reporting Initiative, and GRI also formed, together with UN Global Compact, the SDG Compass. This is a collection of sustainability resources, and it helps companies understand how they contribute to the 17 SDGs. The third party that helped with the formation of SDG Compass was World Business Council on Sustainable Development. And VBC-SD also created, together with World Resources Institute, the GHG protocol. This organization, GHG protocol, introduces a methodology that standardizes the calculation of carbon emissions. Science-Based Targets Initiative is formed through the collaboration of 4 organizations, again UN Global Compact, again World Resources Institute, Worldwide Fund, and Carbon Disclosure Project, CDP. CDP is known for the reporting framework focused on carbon emissions. They also have a module for water and forest. And CDP also acts as Secretariat or the management body of Climate Disclosures Standards Board. SASB standards, most commonly used in the United States, were created by the Sustainability Accounting Standards Board, and SASB merged with IRRC, International Integrated Reporting Council, towards the end of 2020. And they completed the merger in 2021. And they created the Value Reporting Foundation. However, towards the end of 2021, during the COP26 meeting, it is decided that Value Reporting Foundation should consolidate entirely into IFRS, actually the sustainability arm of IFRS. During the same meeting, COP26, IFRS launched its International Sustainability Standards Board. As I've just mentioned, during the COP26 meeting, IFRS launched its International Sustainability Standards Board, which will create the IFRS Sustainability Disclosure Standards. And during the same meeting, together with Value Reporting Foundation, CDSB also agreed to consolidate into IFRS. CDSB, the Climate Disclosures Standards Board, had created a framework which referred to the existing policies and standards, as well as IFRS accounting standards and TCFD recommendations. TCFD recommendations were created by Financial Stability Board, and if you have heard of IOSCO, International Organizations for Securities Commissions, IOSCO is a member of Financial Stability Board. Let's have a final look at the mind map now that we know the relationship between every single shape here. As you can see, the extent of interconnectedness almost prevents us from mentioning an organization totally separately from the rest of the sustainability world. You see a European Commission's project is affected or motivated by a UN news or UN body. You see convergence here, which I see as one of the most important things in the sustainability world. There is a big need, very much pronounced by business world and authorities in the sustainability domain, in the ESG domain, the need for convergence, standardization, and consistency. And with this amount of collaboration and connection, I believe we will see more convergence in the coming days and years. Just like in the case of SASB and IFRS, we might see more announcements about alignments, collaboration, and consolidations. So this mind map needs to be updated and it needs to remain dynamic. So feel free to visit our website in the coming months to see a renewed version of the mind map and to follow up with the news. I'm attaching a list of acronyms after this slide to help you with the mind map, because it is easy to forget what these acronyms stand for. They all look very similar. And if you want to read further about these institutions, organizations, brief explanations, but explanations good enough to help you understand what they do, what their primary aim is, you can visit our website and visit the glossary section where we put the brief explanations of each shape here. And we hope that this was a useful visualization for you. I hope this visualization is useful for you to follow up the ESG news. If you have any questions or remarks, please feel free to contact us. I look forward to seeing you in another webinar. Thank you.